Hi, team, and welcome to today's call. So, today we're going to be talking about gym anxiety and self-doubt. The first thing that I want to say about this topic is that gym anxiety, it's pretty normal. Self-doubt, it's pretty normal. Whether you are a beginner, whether you are intermediate, whether you are even advanced, that gym anxiety, it's always going to be there. Maybe not as much compared to if you just starting with your journey, but believe me, that gym anxiety might never go away, and that's okay because we're human and we always going to have that anxiety when we're doing something new, especially if we're trying a new gym, if we go to a different city, a different country, that gym anxiety is always gonna be present somehow or the other. And that self-doubt is also gonna be present. So I want to remind you, and I want you to remind yourself, anytime that you feel this way, there's nothing wrong with you. Okay, there's absolutely nothing wrong with you. It happens to all of us, and it's pretty normal. Okay, so that's the first thing I want you to understand because this is gonna be very important for those times, those days that you're dealing with this. The good news is that there are ways to overcome this gym anxiety, and there are also ways to overcome this self-doubt that we have about ourselves. And something else I want to say, and this is something I mention all the time, but I'm going to keep saying it. What I'm going to talk about now are things that you are able to apply for everything, not just with your fitness, but any anxiety that you have, let's say, with public speaking, with doing presentations, with, I don't know, anything. You can also apply the tips that I'm about to give you right now. Let's get started with what is gym anxiety, and then I'm going to talk about what is self-doubt. So when we talk about gym anxiety, what you're feeling right now, it's probably fear of judgment. And that's probably the main thing that we feel whenever we have that anxiety going to the gym. We we draw this picture in our head or this image in our head that everyone is looking at us. We feel that as soon as we walk into the gym, people are looking at us. People are paying attention to everything that we're doing. People are paying attention to how we are setting up the machines, what we're wearing, the way that we're walking, the way that we're doing those exercises. And in reality, that's not the case. But because that gym anxiety is so high, it feels like that when you walk into the gym or when you're about to step into a gym or even just thinking about going to the gym. That's what you picture in your head. Second thing that happens, we feel nervous. We feel very nervous. Why? Because we have already drawn this picture this image in our head. And because we are assuming what's going to happen, that makes us feel very nervous. And that's why this kind of holds us back from going to the gym, from doing our workout, from showing up, because we feel and we think and believe strongly that this is going to happen, that people are going to be looking at us, that people are going to be judging us. Next thing is that there's always that comparison to others. Anytime that gym anxiety is high, we start comparing ourselves to other girls at the gym, either with how their body's looking, how we think they're better than us, maybe with what they're wearing as well, how they're doing the exercises, or how much weight they're lifting. And we start thinking like, oh my gosh, that girl is squatting, let's say 100 kgs, and I'm over here lifting my 5 kg dumbbell to my squats. This is so embarrassing. I'm just gonna go home because there's no point of me being here. And we also have that gym anxiety whenever we are unfamiliar with the space. And that's why I say this just doesn't apply to fitness, but applies to anything. Anytime we are unfamiliar with the environment, that anxiety gets much higher. Because when we are in a familiar space, when we know the faces around us, when we know the language that we're speaking, when we know the places around us, things feel more comfortable and things feel better and also more safe. But anxiety is when we feel unsafe. So if the space is unfamiliar, we're gonna feel very unsafe because we're gonna think that something dangerous is gonna happen to us. Next thing with self-doubt. So what exactly is self-doubt? Self-doubt is also when we have that fear. But that fear mainly comes from thinking that we're not good enough or thinking that we are not capable or when you're comparing yourself to that girl who's lifting 100 kgs and you're doing 5 kgs with your squats, we start comparing and you tell yourself, She can squat better than me. She's stronger than me. I'm just not capable of doing 100 kgs. There's no way on earth I'm ever going to be able to lift that much weight. Maybe I don't belong here. Maybe this is not for me. This is not my environment. And then that self-doubt starts getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And then we have that fear that we're going to fail. We again start drawing pictures or images in our head of things that haven't even happened, but because we're humans and because we overthink too much, and I say we because I do it as well, we overthink too much, that happens to all of us. And it's just too many things going here, up here, and that really holds us back from making the progress that we want to make. So something that you might have noticed that self-doubt and anxiety have in common is that they both makes us have that fear of not being capable, not being enough, fear of not doing good enough, and also comparison. When anxiety is high, comparison is also high. When self-doubt is high, comparison it's up here, and just compare yourself to everyone around you. And anytime we do this and we start comparing ourselves too much, we make ourselves feel like shit because we feel like, we make ourselves, or we put ourselves down here and we put everyone else up here. Because again, that's how we are drawing the images in our head. But why does this happen? Why do we get this gym anxiety? Why do we get this self-doubt, whether it's at the gym or again, anything else that we're doing? Three main reasons why. Number one, and probably one of the main ones, perfectionism. Sometimes we have this idea that we have to do everything perfect. Let's say if we go to the gym, our technique has to be 100% on point, which obviously, yes, it should be on point. Maybe not 100%, but it should be on point because if not, then we're going to get injured. But if we're only just getting started, your technique is not going to be on point. Your technique is going to be pretty rubbish because it's something new for you. It's something that you're only just doing. So we cannot expect to be perfect straight away. We cannot expect to master that technique or those exercises straight away. And because we want that perfectionism, we put unnecessary pressure on ourselves. And whenever we put that pressure on ourselves, that we feel something very heavy on our shoulders, that anxiety just goes up and 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 up. So when we show up to the gym, that anxiety, it's over here and we're like, oh my gosh, I don't want to do this. Second thing, the fear of judgment. Again, we feel and believe strongly that everyone is looking at us. As soon as we walk into the gym, people are looking at me. People are paying attention to everything that I'm doing. How embarrassing. I don't know how to use that machine. I don't know how to set up the machine. I don't know how to bring the seat up and down. Or maybe if you take too long setting up for a machine, you're like, oh my gosh, everyone's looking at me. Everyone is making fun of me. They're gonna think I'm so silly. They're gonna think I'm so dumb. They're gonna think I'm such an idiot. They're gonna think I'm a stupid. And I say those things because I've done that myself before when I started with my journey. I used to have that fear of judgment and I used to think like, oh my gosh, everyone is looking at me. And that's pretty normal. And the last thing is the lack of experience. Anytime we are in a new environment and we don't have that experience, that anxiety also goes up and up and up and up. It's like, when you started high school, let's say you moved to a new school, that anxiety was higher because you didn't know anyone. I didn't know anyone when I came to this country. When I went to high school here, I was so lost. I had no friends. And that environment was very unfamiliar. So my anxiety was very high. Or when you start with a new job, that anxiety also goes up because you lack the experience of the role that you're about to do. You are not familiar with the space. You're not familiar with the faces around you. And that anxiety goes up because we start drawing those images in our head and we start convincing ourselves that maybe we're not capable, maybe we're not good enough, maybe this is just not for me, maybe I shouldn't be doing this. What the hell am I even doing here? So it happens, remember, because of perfectionism, fear of judgment, and lack of experience. So now that we know this, how is this gym anxiety and this self-doubt affecting our progress? How is this affecting our fitness progress? Like, how is this holding us back pretty much? Two ways. The first thing that this is doing, if your anxiety is too high and your self-doubt is too high, it's creating a lot of mental barriers. And the second thing, it's you have a lot of missed opportunities, which I'm going to explain shortly. So with the mental barriers, whenever we have that anxiety, or whenever that anxiety goes up, this is only going to prevent you from going to the gym. And I know a few of you guys, I'm not going to say everyone, but you know who you are. I know a few of you guys right now have that anxiety, which again, it's pretty normal. But what this is doing right now and what this is going to do if we don't do anything about it, this is going to prevent you from going to the gym. And if this happens once or twice, that's completely fine. But if we let this happen 3 times, 4 times, 4 weeks, 5 weeks, 2 months, 3 months, then you simply won't be able to make the progress that you want to make, and you won't be able to see the progress that you want to see. Why? Because you're going to be skipping your workouts. You're not going to be showing up for yourself. If you're not doing the gym, I can guarantee it's going to be a little bit harder to stick with the meal plan, because you're going to have that excuse of, if I'm not training, I'm just going to eat whatever. Once I get back on track with the gym, then I'll get back on track with my meal plan. So it's kind of like one thing starts another thing and then another, and then everything just goes down here. You're also going to feel discouraged. If right now you're letting that anxiety hold you back from going to the gym, it's going to be much easier to feel discouraged, because when we skip workouts, when we stop being consistent, we're not going to see or make the progress that we want to make. And that's only going to make you feel unmotivated, because you're going to feel like you're wasting time. Or you might feel that maybe right now it's not the perfect time and you're not going to see the progress that you want to see. And also, you're going to be avoiding certain areas in the gym. Maybe you're going to be hiding in one little corner. Maybe you're only going to be doing, let's say, group classes, and you won't be able to make the most out of the playground, out of the gym. I call it a playground because there's so much equipment, everything, so many things that we can use. But if you have this anxiety, this is going to hold you back. And I remember a few of you guys, when you started with the program, one of them, Livana, when she joined the program, she had a lot of gym anxiety. And the main reason was because she moved to a new country. She couldn't speak the language, and she just felt very uncomfortable in that unfamiliar space. So she would just go to the gym and only use the area that was outdoors, only with dumbbells, no machines, no nothing, just outdoors so no one can see what she was doing, and dumbbells only. Why? Because she didn't want to ask for help, as she couldn't speak the language. And two, she just felt too embarrassed because the machines were a little bit different. And she felt that, what if people look at me? What if they make fun of me? What if they're start laughing at me because I don't know what I'm doing? And also Ashley, I remember when she joined the program, she was doing the same thing. She was only in one little corner at the gym because her anxiety was too big. And she felt that she was not capable of doing the other exercises or using the other machines because she didn't have the knowledge. And also because she had that fear of people judging her, of people making fun of her. So as you can see, pretty similar experiences, different countries, different environments, or similar environments, but pretty similar experiences. And that's what happens when we don't break that mental barrier, and when we don't do anything to overcome that mental barrier. But it's been 6 months, 7 months for Ashley, 6 months for Levana, and now they're going to the gym, showing up. They no longer have that gym anxiety because we have make sure to apply these strategies and to be consistent with what we're doing. So that's the first thing that's happening right now. This is how this is affecting your fitness progress. And second thing is to do with missed opportunities. And what I mean by this is that when we have that fear of failure, you're going to feel that you're not able to push yourself enough. In pushing yourself, I mean it 2 ways. One, with how far you can go at the gym, like how much you can push yourself, finish all your sets, finish all your reps, finish everything, because you might feel like, oh my gosh, my legs are too shaky, or I just can't do this, I can't do this, I can't do this too much. Or with the weights, maybe you've been stuck using the same dumbbells for months and months and months and months and months. Like you've been only doing 5 kgs for all the exercises because maybe you were too afraid that if you go 1 kg up or 2 kgs up, you're gonna fail and people are gonna look at you. and people are gonna laugh at you, and that's only gonna put you off from the gym, and you don't want that for yourself. Or maybe you have that self-doubt. And anytime we have that self-doubt, that plays with our mindset so much. And the way that we approach our training is a little bit different, because instead of us trying to give our 100%, we only give our, let's say, 50% or 60%, because we think that maybe I'm not capable of doing more. Maybe I'm not strong enough. Maybe I'm not like that girl that's squatting 100 kgs, or like that other girl that's doing a leg press of 80 kgs, whatever. But that mindset starts playing game with us, and it's truly holding us back from making the progress that we want to make. But we don't want those mental barriers. We don't want the anxiety to take over us. And we want to make sure that we do something to overcome that gym anxiety, to ensure that we slowly, and I say slowly because it's going to take time, just like your fitness progress, it's going to take time, building muscle, losing body fat, getting the body of your dreams, having a healthier relationship with food is going to take time. Overcoming the gym anxiety will also take time. So if right now you're experiencing this, I want you to be very, very patient and also realistic, because these changes won't be overnight. We just have to make sure that we stay consistent with the tips that I'm about to give you, and that we keep trying. We keep trying, we keep trying, we keep trying, because if we don't keep trying, we will just never know. So the first thing, I want you to focus on yourself. So next time you go to the gym, let's say you're going to the gym tomorrow morning, next time you go to the gym, just focus on what you are doing and stop being too concerned with what everyone else is doing. Because if you start paying too much attention and start looking around too much, trust me, it's going to be much easier for you to get distracted. And also it's going to be much easier for you to start drawing those images on your head that people are looking at you, that people are judging you, which in reality that's not happening. Remember, that's only happening up here, but it's not happening in the real world. Maybe people might look at you, yes, because they might be erasing and they might just happen to look at you, but it doesn't mean that they are focused on you. When we are at the gym, we go there to get our workout done. So something I want you to remind yourself is that everyone goes to the gym with a purpose, whether with the purpose of getting the workouts done, with the purpose of socializing, with the purpose of making new friends, with the purpose of finding a new lover. I don't know, but everyone goes there with a purpose. So everyone is really busy in their own worlds. Believe me when I tell you, they don't care about you. They're not looking at you. So next time you go there, focus only on what you are doing, and don't worry too much about what everyone else is doing. Don't worry about what the person next to you is doing. Just focus on your workout, the exercises that you have to do, follow the structure. Once you're done, get out of there. Just go and get it done. Next thing I want you to try is to start very small. Because if we kind of start applying small steps, this is going to be much easier to, with time, build that confidence. And it's going to be much easier to overcome that anxiety. So by starting small, let's say right now, if you are doing 4 workouts a week for the gym, okay? So 4 days a week, 4 days a week. If you feel like this is too much, we can bring it down to twice a week, because twice a week, it's better than not showing up at all. Giving you 50%, it's better than not giving 100% of yourself. So if we have to reduce the intensity, if we have to reduce the volume, if we have to reduce the training days, we can do that. That's an easy change to make. As long as we make it something easier, it's going to be much easier for you to stick to that thing and make it happen. And then with time, you're going to build that confidence. And once that confidence is a little bit bigger, it's going to be easier to just keep showing up. And it's going to become kind of like second nature. It's just going to be, this is what I do, and this is who I am. Next thing, I want you to create a routine. And with the routine, you guys already have the structure, so the workout that you're following. And having this structure is key, because if we don't have that, it's much easier to show up to the gym, feel completely lost, and then feel that you just want to go home, because you don't know what exercise to do, how many sets, how many reps, how to do the exercise, how to perform the exercise, and that only puts more barriers for you to get it done, and that's only again holding you back. So now that we have that structure that you guys have, the next thing to help you create that routine is to have a schedule. And I know that I talk about this all the time, but I'm a huge believer that a schedule helps us so much with everything, because if we have that routine, if we have that schedule, it's gonna be much easier not to waste time thinking about, do I feel like going to the gym? Do I not feel like going to the gym? And you're just gonna get it done because it's on your schedule and you're just gonna get it done. If you're only just getting started with the gym, with your fitness journey, something that I would suggest to make things a little bit easier for you, play around with your schedule for the first few weeks, the first week, 2 weeks, up to you, and just go to the gym at different times. So one time you can go going before the gym, before work, sorry. Next day or next time you can try going during your lunch break. Maybe you can try going after your work, once your work is finished, or nighttime. Because trying different hours of the day, if you are brand new to the gym, it's gonna make it easier for you to find out exactly what days, what times work for you, and also at what times you feel a little bit more comfortable in that space. Because sometimes if we go straight after work and the gym is too busy, your anxiety is just gonna be much higher. But if we're able to go, let's say during lunch break or first thing in the morning, there's not gonna be much people there. So that anxiety is still gonna be there, but it's not gonna be as high. So please, let's create that routine. Next thing, and this one is also gonna be very important. I need you and I want you to visualize your success. How do we do that? Pretty simple. It honestly takes only a few seconds. Before you go to the gym, I want you to close your eyes. Whether you do it at home, in your car, like just before you're about to step into the gym, close your eyes, and I want you to visualize yourself completing that workout, finishing that workout, doing every single exercise, every single set, every single rep, feeling strong, feeling confident, and also feeling proud of yourself once you're done with the workout. Because if you can visualize that before the gym, that's gonna give you that little push. That's really gonna give you that little incentive to step into the gym and get it done and not let that anxiety or that self-doubt hold you back. So we're gonna overcome that anxiety because we're visualizing the success and we know exactly how we're gonna be looking and also how we're gonna be feeling once we're done with the workout. And next thing, track your progress. And again, that's something that you guys are already doing, the way that we track our progress with the pictures that we do on our weekly check-ins. And another reason why the weekly pictures are important, it's not just to see how our body is looking, but it's also to remind us that we are making progress. And that's going to give you the motivation because you're going to be like, this actually works. And because it works, I want to keep doing this. Now that I can see the changes in my body, I'm more hungry than ever before to just keep pushing, keep trying, and keep giving my 100% to keep seeing results and keep making the progress that I want to make. And another way that we can track our progress, especially for the gym, we can track our weights, so how much we're lifting. And this is what we do in the app. You can look how much you're lifting for every single exercise. But something that's going to be very important to remember is that if you're just a beginner, don't forget that at the start, you're not going to lift heavy weights, and that's fine. We just focus on building that consistency, building that momentum, working on your technique, and your strength will come with time. So don't expect to go from, let's say, 2 kgs to 20 kgs in just 1 week because it will not happen. Believe me, it will not happen. Maybe you can do it, yes, but you will get injured. And I don't want that for you, and I'm sure you don't want that for yourself. So just remember that progress is going to take time. Another thing that is going to be very important to help us overcome that gym anxiety, it's going to be to reframe the negative thoughts. Because that little voice in the back of our brain, it's always gonna be there, always, always, always. Even if you're very confident at the gym, believe me when I tell you, that little voice is still there. Even until this day, I've been in this fitness journey for 15 years now. I still have that annoying imposter voice, that imposter syndrome, that negative voice that is always telling you things. But the way that we can challenge this, or the way that we can overcome this, it's by number one, challenging those negative beliefs about ourselves. When that little voice tells you that you're not capable, or when that little voice tells you that you're not good enough, that you will never be able to do that exercise or lift that amount of weight, challenge that voice and tell that voice to be quiet, because you are capable and you are going to make it happen 100%. I just need you to be confident when you challenge that voice. And if it doesn't come natural at first, fake it. Fake it until you make it. And then with time, it's gonna come more natural. The second thing is that we need to stop comparing ourselves. Stop with the comparison, whether it's at the gym, whether it's with other ladies inside the program, because I know some of you guys are comparing yourself and you're like, Danny, why is she making more progress with being in the program for the same many months, same amount of length, working together? And this person is making more progress than me. Like, why is that happening? It's happening because you're too busy comparing yourself to other people and you're not focused on what you're doing. So stop with the comparison at the gym or with other progress, or with other ladies or the girls, and just focus on what you're doing. Just focus on yourself. Focus on your own progress, because that's going to be the only way that we're going to be able to grow. And the next thing, I want you to practice self-compassion. And I know this one is not that easy. I know that it's much easier to be nicer to our friends, to our family, to our partner, but it's not that easy to be nice to ourselves. But we have to remember that if we don't have that self-compassion, if we don't treat ourselves the way that we want to be treated, or the way that we treat other people, it's going to be much easier for that self-doubt to increase, for that anxiety to increase. And remember, this is only going to hold you back, and it's not going to help you see and make the progress that you truly want to make. So we're going to be building long-term confidence in the gym. And this is going to take time. I'm going to say that again, but building that confidence in the gym is going to take time. How do we build this confidence? We're going to keep showing up to the gym, because having that consistent exposure to that environment, it's going to make things easier for you to get familiar with that, feel a little bit less anxious, and feel more comfortable when you show up to the gym. The second thing, we're gonna celebrate wins. So celebrate your wins, whether they're small, whether they're big. If you went to the gym and got your workout done, celebrate it. If you finish all your sets, all your reps, celebrate it. If you increase your weight by 0.25 kgs, celebrate it. It might not be too big to someone else, but it's big to you. Remember, we're not comparing ourselves, we're not focusing on everyone else. We are just focused on us in the progress that we are making. And the next thing to help us build that confidence is to lean on a support system. And that support system that you guys have is, one, me as your coach, and two, the community that we have. That's why we have that Telegram group, so we can share things, so we can share our wins, so we can share our struggles. Because I know sometimes it feels like we are the only one with that struggle. We are the only one going through that challenge or those challenges, but we forget that it's pretty normal to feel that way. We forget that other ladies inside the program are going through the same, or have gone through the same. And if you're not sharing that, you're gonna feel like you're different, or you're gonna feel that, yeah, that you're different and it's only you undergoing all these things that are happening. But that's not the case. That's why having that community and sharing those things are very important to help us build that confidence and to give us that reassurance that this is normal, this is not unique to me, this is happening to everyone, and that's okay, it's completely okay. This is how we learn, this is how we make progress, this is how we grow, this is how we overcome challenges. That's truly the only way to make it. So just a quick recap before we go. Gym anxiety, it's pretty normal, okay? Pretty normal. Again, whether you're a beginner, intermediate, or advanced, that gym anxiety will always be there. Maybe not as much when you're more advanced, you won't always have that gym anxiety, but it might always be there every now and then. Like still happens to me when I go to a new gym, like a new country, new gym, new people, new everything. I'm like, ugh, I don't know where the machines are. I don't know what the equipment is. I don't know. There's new machines. I don't know how to use that. Gym anxiety is there, and it's normal. That self-doubt, it's also normal, pretty normal. You're not unique. There's nothing wrong with you. This happens to all of us because we are humans, and as humans, we are always going to have that self-doubt. I want you to focus on your own personal growth. I want you to focus on yourself. I want you to stop looking around and stop comparing yourself. Stop thinking that everyone is looking at you and judging you because that's not happening. Remember, that's only happening up here, but in reality, it's not happening. And I want you to also focus on building your confidence. And the only way that we're going to be able to build that confidence is by being more consistent with what we're doing. It's by keep showing up to those unfamiliar spaces because they're gonna become very familiar very soon. And it's gonna be by also challenging those negative thoughts that come every now and then, sometimes every single day, especially when it's something new and something that you haven't done before. I know you can do it. I know that you're capable, and I know that you are gonna make it happen. I want you to believe in yourself because I do believe in yourself.
Are you gonna have up? Do you want some or no?
I don't know what happened. And I want you, let me just mute you. And I want you guys to, yeah, just try the tips that I tell you because you can do it. You can 100% do it. Now, I want you to go to the Telegram group chat and just share it there. If you had that gym anxiety, or maybe you're having that gym anxiety right now. What are you doing to overcome that? Or what are you going to apply from this presentation that I just gave you guys to help you overcome that slowly? Thank you guys for being here, and I'll see you guys. I'll